Hey guys, what's going on? TT here with the 4-star video, I promise. Now once again, before I get into this, I will say that this is happening during the Hilda release month. So if you're watching this down the line, it might be out of date as they release more characters, because these will be replaced. But these are the characters that I would recommend 4 stars to increase the potential of upgrade, whatever you want to phrase it. These ones I feel like are a lot more obvious, but for the sake of the video I'll say them. I'll also do a couple honorable mentions after. But first up on the line, shouldn't be any surprise, he is Will. Now, if you guys haven't figured out, I don't know how you wouldn't unless you really didn't pay attention to that stuff. Will is one of the highest recommended characters in the game, like Karina. He's definitely the creme de la creme of 4 stars though, and the reason being, he's got some fun stuff here. Our power is limitless, which, if you watch this 3-star video, is what I was talking about with Mina. He's got that, but as a 4-star. It's really good, and he's also got stored power. So what happens? Our power is limitless! Steals the opponent's buffs. Stored power! So literally, you just mirror force them in the face. He's also got Confusion Ray, which is not bad. He's got Impervious as well. So literally, he has Mina's kit as a 4-star. So you definitely do want to focus on ranking him up. He is considered an S rank in pretty much all tier lists. Let's take a look at his stats real quick, since I am trying to do this as well. Mine is a 5-star with 0 potential and 5. This is what his stats are looking like, which are not bad, really. His special attack, 233. His speed is a whopping 342, which is faster than pretty much everything I think I've shown you guys. His HP is rather bulky, and that is why most people would recommend him over Mina. The one thing Mina has over him is that she is a fairy type, which, as I stressed in that video, she's the only fairy type in the game, which is why you rank her up. Now, anyway, on to our next one. The next one might be a little bit more of a curveball for some people, and I was going to cover him last, but it's going to be How. He is something that is more used in a couple metas for the Japanese servers, and if you play with them often, you'll hear about it. But the reason being is How is one of the only electric types in the game. He's got Discharge, which is a whopping 92 power, moderate chance of leaving the paralyzed, so that is an AoE move. And he's got X special attack, so same deal as Price here. He's a lesser amount to do typing. He's got an AoE attack, has a chance of adding effect to him, but he's also got Feel the Alolan Breeze, which drastically raises his speed, so he's literally going pow 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 on your face right now. And he's got First Aid, so which actually is why he's a little bit better than Price. I don't know if I would say he's that much better than Price, and yeah, people can yell at me for that, but Price does have that speed reduction, which is a little bit more useful in manners because it drops the speed, whereas you can have your speed reset by many different things in the game. So by it being on the enemy team, it's a little bit better in my personal opinion. You're entitled to believe what you believe, but First Aid is something he's got strongly over Price in that manner. Now for his stats, now that I've explained that stuff, let's take a look at his stats down here. His stats, this is as his regular 4-star, max level 95. He's already at 271 for special attack, which, as you can see, if I did a little increasing, by the time he's a 5-star, he might be around 300 on special attack, which is very, very good. His speed's 208. He's got a slight bit of bulk on his HP with the 352 there. Not bad. So he could survive some hits. But that's why people tend to use him. He's not bad. He really isn't. He's definitely one people should talk about a little bit more. But not everybody's going to bother leveling up and learning everybody, obviously. Now for the last one, is one I would recommend a lot more than those two. It's going to probably be Nolan. And the reason I would recommend Nolan over Will, now hear me out, is because he does have Mega Pincer, and he's a little bit easier to use than Will. Like, if you're going to be doing a regular manual, he's less of a learning curve than Will. But what's good about him, he's got X Attack, he's got Fury Cutter, he's got Bring It On, which Bring It On is really good because it does heal a little bit, but it also boosts the speed, so he's got Headstrong, so after he gets his X Attack up, he doesn't lose it. So he will be keeping it, especially when he X evolves. Let's see if I can do it there. And as you can see, you got quite a bit of change in his defense, especially there, and his attack. He gets a massive attack boost when he does go into his Mega Form. Very, very nice to look at. Actually, I could just look at his stats there. Also got his stats. Obviously, you're going to be stuck in Pincer for a little bit, which is why I also may not recommend him. Like, that's the one kicker on him. You do need to get him Mega Evolved for him to be able to utilize all of that. I went down on him, though, because he still has a 305 attack stat that goes into 365, and this is without him being level 5 potential, by the way, guys. Keep that in mind. So that X-Scissor, even though it is only 60, it's going to end up doing quite a bit. But now for the honorable mentions, guys. Honorable mentions, and this one is going to surprise you guys. You guys definitely wouldn't expect this from me. But I'm actually going to say Seabold. And for one special reason that no one's discussed about Seabold yet. And that's the fact that they actually took time to give him AI. Now, when you're autoing, AI is quite a big factor. And Seabold, if you have the other 3 up to 5 potential, he wouldn't be a bad choice just because they've spent time on his AI, unlike a lot of the other ones. And that's really the only thing. I mean, I'll show you his kit. He's got Definition of Art, which is an auto-critical hit, restore some health. He's got X Special Attack, which goes along with Water Pulse. These things are 50 potency, so it's not really much to talk about there, but the fact that he can give critical hits. The main thing, though, guys, is the fact that he does have AI built into him, which is rare for this game with how early it is. So, definitely show him some love there. I would also say Wickstrom, which Wickstrom is very, very good. Currently, he's a little bit more harder to use than some of the others, but he's got his stance change, which is one of the biggest things. I mean, you'd already know that with Aegislash. I don't want to spend too much time talking about him, because he is an honorable mention, but he's got a drastic raise on his attack and critical hit, and obviously different if it's in his shield form. He's got King Shield, which, like I explained with Roxanne, is a little bit harder to use than more things, which is also why I would say he's more of an honorable mention. And then if I was to throw in a third, because I am going to definitely always try to do 3. This one I'm actually going to have to look for. Live looking here. That's a little bit harder to say, really. But I guess if I had to choose, I would probably say maybe Bruno there. He's got Cross Chop, which is really good. He's got Hoo-Ha, which sharply raises the attack and special defense. Dire Hit gives him some critical. And then he's got Critical Strike too, which buffs critical hits even further. So he would definitely be my third honorable mention. His stats also aren't very bad. Definitely would be pretty good if it turned into a 5. But those would be my 3 primary and then my 3 honorable mentions. Definitely look into those guys. Mainly the 3 that I primarily mentioned more than anything else. Wickstrom would... Honestly, if I didn't have the 3 that I primarily mentioned, I probably would have put Wickstrom in there too. So, if you didn't like 3 I mentioned, Wickstrom would be probably a close third. So take it easy, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got plenty out of it. I'll see you guys in another one. Bye.